Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for choosing to watch my video, and if you would subscribe it, like it, all that stuff, that'd be great. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I hope it gives you the information you need and is helpful to you. Take care. Alright, we're going to do a transmission drain and fill on a 2012 Ford Escape. To the drain plug here, then we have a dipstick up top. Got some 10mm bolts holding this shield in place. I suppose if it's your own personal car, you could actually do a little notch here, but we're not going to do that, and we're not going to get fluid on here, I suppose. So 10mm bolts along here. So I'm going to zip this off, and then we'll get to the transmission draining. And we got one push pin there that we'll have to get out. You can use a screwdriver usually. Get in there and pop the center piece out. It's two pieces, the center piece and the outer piece. Or look how nice we can just kind of hold that out of the way. I think we're going to go this route right here. Just leave that one clip in there. And I'm going to use an 11mm on that, I believe, and we'll get some fluid draining. Alright, 11mm or 7/16. I also have a container here. It actually is graduated. It has measurements, holds up to 4 quarts. Give me a good idea of what I'll need to put back in. And when we get to the dipstick up on top, we'll see right on it it says use LV fluid, Motorcraft LV fluid. So I'm going to drain this. We're getting up to 2 quarts pretty soon here. We're getting up to 4 quarts at the tip top. And there's 4 quarts. Fluid looks like it's starting to bubble a little bit. And we have overflow. So to me it looks like 4 quarts is going to be really close. So we'll let this drain some more. So 4 quarts is a great place to start for filling it back up though. We'll let it drain and then we'll put the plug in. Put the drain plug in once it's mostly drained and tighten it to 106 inch-pounds. I did put a little bit of liquid thread sealer on there. We'll just tighten it down. Here's the dipstick here and the dipstick tube. Use Marcon LV is what it says on here. So that's what we'll use. We'll put 4 quarts in here. Then we'll run it and check the fluid level. On here we got some spots here to check. don't know if it's showing up at all, but check hot, do not add. Right here's the sweet spot in the middle, right there. And the dipstick tube. So we'll just add 4 quarts and we'll get it running. Pretty easy, right? So we have our 4 quarts in, we've got in the vehicle, we've put it in each of the gear ranges, reverse, neutral, drive, 2, 1, and back up. Leave it in each gear for about 15 seconds or so and then go back up to park. We can check our fluid level, then we'll probably go for a test drive to get the transmission fluid temperature up. If you're reading the transmission fluid, you want to read the low side because the fluid might splash around and be different, so you always want to read the low side. Transmission fluid isn't always so easy to check. It seems to be more of a splashy fluid or whatever inside the transmission. I find it more difficult to read sometimes, so you can do it a couple times if you need to. And Ford actually says you can drain and fill it 3 times if you, to get a more complete exchange. You can do it as much or as little as you want if the fluid looks good or doesn't look so good, so it's up to you. We'll go for a drive, we'll get it up to some operating temperature, we'll check the fluid temperature, and then we'll do a final check and adjustment on the fluid. Alright, we went on a nice 10-mile drive. I'm sure it's up to operating temperature after 10 miles. About 65 degrees outside. We're at the bottom of the cross hatches, so we'll be adding probably another half a quart. Sounds pretty good. As we saw, we got 4 quarts plus a little more. So we'll just keep adding until we get into the cross hatch, and that should be good then. We'll probably start with a quarter to a half a quart. And that had about a quarter of a quart in it, so it's going to be good. So this is really, we're just add a little bit at a time. So you get right in this crosshatch here somewhere, and again, the fluid's going to spill in and making a mess on the dipstick, so you might let it run for a little while till you get a good positive reading on it, and if one side's higher reading than the other, you want to read the low side. You can have transmission fluid on down here on this side, and over here it'll be up here. We want to read the lower side. So, and that's changing your transmission fluid on your 2012 Ford Escape and other model years. It looks like this, and it says use Mercon LV. I'm sure this is going to work for you. Good luck to you.